If you work in customer service, what's the one thing you never thought you would have to explain to an adult?
I think I'll go. Cutting a wired mouse does not make it wireless.
Okay, so I used to work at the Apple store, and this gentleman sat down at the Genius Bar, and he asked for the restroom, and I was like, the restroom's in the back, go ahead and use it. So he went to the back. Keep in mind, this gentleman was wearing all white. He was wearing white pants, white long sleeve. Little did I know that when he was in the restroom, he took a poop in the urinal, and he came back out like nothing happened. And then my manager was like, hey, I think your customer just took a shit in the urinal. And I was like, oh, okay. So I never thought that I'd have to tell a grown man wearing all white that he shouldn't poop in the urinal. I thought that was like a given. But I guess not. I'm just here to educate.
Hey, welcome to Olive Garden. My name's Michaela. I'll be taking care of y'all today. What drinks can I get out for y'all? Yes, I'll have a sweet tea, and my daughter will have a strawberry daiquiri. Do you mean a virgin daiquiri? No, if I meant a virgin daiquiri, I would have ordered a virgin daiquiri. Well, it's just we can't sell alcohol to minors. I'll have you know that my family is from England, and they're allowed to have alcohol. Totally understand, but unfortunately in the United States, the minimum age to purchase alcohol is 21. I don't see what the problem is. I'm her legal guardian. Go get her a daiquiri. All right, ma'am, may I see her ID? Why would you need to see her ID? Well, I can't sell her alcohol if she's under 21. I've literally never heard of such a rule. It's been around since 1984. You know what? I think you're judging my parenting skills. I think you're telling me how I can and can't parent, and I want to speak to your manager right now.
God, working at the bank, you see literally like the dumbest people. I'm not even trying to be mean, but I swear this is probably like one of the ones that stand out the most to me because I'm like, oh my God, like how old are you? 5? So this non-customer, if you guys work at the bank, you already know what that means. This non-customer wanted to cash a check that did not even belong to us, meaning the check was not from our bank. It was from bank XYZ. This guy wanted to cash a check when we couldn't even verify funds. And he said, well, call the company. I'm like, sir, we need a checking account in order for me to cash the check against, because if this check was to come back, we can deduct the funds from your account. What do you not understand? We cannot cash this check unless you have an account with us. And he said, well, you can't just call. It's a bank. All the banks are the same. Sir, no, that's not how it works. What the?
I worked in the escalations department for a retail store, and boy, do I have some stories. One that really sticks out to me is I had a expectant mother calling because she'd ordered a bunch of matching furniture for her new baby, and the high chair hadn't arrived yet. And I looked at the order, I saw that it was due to arrive in 2 weeks, and I said, well, ma'am, it's not going to be there for 2 weeks. She said, that's not going to work. My baby's due in a week. And I said, yeah, but the baby's not going to be using the high chair for quite some time. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, babies can't sit in high chairs or eat solid food for quite a while. And she said, you're just trying to get out of getting my order here on time. I know how babies work. My baby's going to be sitting in its high chair right after it's born. And I was like, that's not how babies work. It was a 30-minute phone call of explaining that newborns can't eat solid food or sit in high chairs.
I had to explain to a black person what African American was. I deadass had to educate a black person on what fucking African American was. This bitch was like, I'm not African, I'm black. I said, were you born in America? This bitch said yes. I said, so you're African American. She said, you people don't know what you're talking about. Mind you, at this point I'm code switching, so I understand that she probably thinks I'm white. But I explained to her, I am also a black person. This bitch was a lot older. How the fuck do you make it 50 plus years never hearing this fucking phrase in your life or seeing this on any type of government application? The only reason I asked this is because I was working a government job at the time. Like, how the fuck do you go your entire life not... Bro, the bitch got real silent after that.
If you work in customer service, what's the one thing you never thought you would have to explain to an adult? I'll go.
So for a number of years, I was an international flight attendant for an international airline, obviously, and it baffles me to this day how many times I had to explain to fully grown adults that yes, they may be loud, and yeah, that maybe preventing you from sleeping, but no, we can't turn the engines off for you. I don't know.
Your shoe is not gonna cost the same as an infant shoe. Please. The size 12 infant shoe, yeah, it costs $50 because it's for a fucking baby. No, your shoe is not the same price. Also, you can't come back 6 months later with these fucking shoes that look like you walked around the world with them, have holes in them, they stink, and expect your money back. It's not gonna happen. What do you...
Not customer service, but common sense enough to make the list. I never thought that I would have to explain to so many full-grown adults that you can't just walk up to someone's fence because you were driving by and you saw their horse and wanted to pet it and feed it. I never thought I'd have to explain to a full-grown adult that you can't just walk into someone's barn because you want to see the horses. I especially never thought that I would have to explain to an adult that they cannot let their children and dogs run up to a horse and rider on the road.
So I once sold a piece of jewelry to someone who then emailed me the next day to ask me why the piece that I put in had spun. Like the bottom of the jewelry was now at the top. And I said, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Would you mind sending me a photo just so I could confirm that we were on the same page? And lo and behold, the jewelry had just spun. And I had to explain physics to her and make sure that she understood that when jewelry gets put in your body, especially in your ears, it's going to spin. It's never going to stay in one direction. It's always going to spin. I actually have ended up having to have that conversation probably 15 times in my career. Yes, jewelry is going to spin when it's in your body, inevitably.
So I had to explain to a grown woman that your hair does not grow from the bottom, but from your root, because I had given her highlights. And after about 4 weeks, which generally your hair grows about half an inch a month, she called me or texted me angrily that her highlights aren't at her roots anymore. And I said, well, yes, because your hair grows. And she tried to argue with me that the bottoms of your hair grow. It does not grow from the top of your head. So.
Okay, when I was like 19, I worked at a diner, and these two ladies came in, and I knew they were going to be a problem from the beginning, but the one lady orders an omelet with peppers, the other lady orders just egg whites, and I'm like, okay, that's simple. Okay, their food comes out, I hand the lady the omelet with peppers, and she's like, what are these? And I'm like, peppers, and she's like, they're not green. I was like, some of them are green. She's like, no, what is the red and orange? And I was like, those are peppers. And she was like, no, peppers are green, no other color. And I was like, okay. And then I had to explain to her peppers come in all colors. Well, not all of them, but you know what I mean. Okay, and then the lady that she's with gets egg whites, and she's like, where's the yolk? And I'm like, there is no yolk, you ordered egg whites. And she's like, exactly, where's my yolk? And I was like, egg whites, there is no yolk. That's the exact meaning of it. And she was like, no! And then they proceeded to scream at me in the diner. It was great.
Do not no call, no show with your tattoo artist. It is so rude. We do not spend hours to days designing your tattoos for you to not show up without saying a word to us. If you're starting to have second thoughts, just fucking say so. Because we start kind of getting into our heads and we start thinking that you hate us or we did something wrong when we really didn't. And if your artist did something wrong to offend you or you just get a weird vibe, then just say something. Because we're gonna sit there at the shop, 5 minutes go by, and we're like, all right, they're late. 20 minutes go by, okay, are they coming? An hour goes by, shit, they're probably not coming. And if it's an emergency, just fucking say so. Because pretty much there goes the whole day that they could have dedicated to something else that they were supposed to do. Like draw for other clients, tattoo another client, get their bread, get their head, and leave. But they can't leave until the day's actually done, because what if they actually show up? It's literally the fucking worst. And anybody that no call, no shows me, I blacklist you and I don't tat you.
Yes! It's mine, baby!
That water
doesn't have calories! Alright, let's get to it. So I was 16 years old. I worked at a Wendy's. This middle-aged blonde woman comes up to me and I'm working the counter and goes, "Oh my god, the water here is so good. Does it have calories?" And I was an asshole. I looked at her and said, actually, yeah, it does. It has about 17 calories. We tend to put a little bit of Splenda in it from the machine to make sure you guys like it and so you guys get more of it. Completely jipping the shit out of her. She looked at me with such intense disbelief. I just blew all the paradigms. And she goes, "Wow, that's so smart." And I'm sitting there agreeing as I write my 2 weeks notice with blood. And she runs off and then the person behind her goes, "Is there really 17 calories in the water?" I said, "No, I'm just bored."
Oh, what time's the 5 o'clock parade? It's at 5 o'clock. It was in the question. It's like the magic. It was in you the whole time.
There are a bunch, but I'm gonna go with the time I had to explain to a woman that the fried chicken that she wanted from the deli where I worked was gonna take 20 minutes to cook because, like, we're legally required to cook it for 20 minutes, so it's not raw. And she said, "Okay, well, I want to pick it up in 15 minutes." Ma'am, you're gonna have to pick it up in 20 minutes because we're not gonna give you salmonella chicken. Sorry.
I work auto parts. Had a customer come in, needed a couple of light bulbs. I said, "Okay, fine, cool, whatever. What's your year, make, and model?" She says it's a 2007 Ford Fizo. I stopped for a second. I'm like, okay, maybe she knows something I don't. I went ahead and plugged that into the system, and yeah, there's no such thing as a Ford Fizo. I continued to back and forth with her about the lack of existence of such a model of vehicle. I said, "Well, is the car here?" Because she's getting pissed. She's calling me every name you can think of. Takes me outside, and I read the side of it. Ford F-150.
Yeah, hi, hello. The concept of buy two, get one free. Y'all don't understand the amount of adults I had to explain to about buy two, get one fucking free. Like, what's so hard to fucking grasp? Like, come to register talking about why is the total so high? I thought it was buy two, get one free. I'm like, yeah, so you're buying these two, the other one will be free. Oh, well, I thought it was buy two, get one free, like right now. First of all, bitch, with that dumbass logic, it will be buy one, get one free. And not only that, you just said to your damn self, buy two, get one free. Yes, you're buying these two, so where the fuck is the other item for it to be free? I'm so lost right now. Like, I remember this one girl wanted to sit there and argue with me so bad, talking about something that's a bad deal. Well, Uno, first of all, buy two, get one free been around since forever. So what are you talking about? Number two, you thought I care enough about this establishment to sit there and argue with you right now? Fuck you. Fuck you. Number three, you're broke. Like, just say that. Like,
so I had this little old lady once bring in her little puppy to get groomed, and she had it all with a pink harness and a pink collar and a pink leash, and her name was Bella, and she wanted bows on her. So on dropping her off, she told me that she had a lump on her belly, which sounded to me like must be an umbilical hernia, so I didn't think anything of it. I have the dog on my table, and I start grooming her, and as I'm grooming her, I realize that she has a penis. So when the owner came to pick up, I pointed at the lump on her belly, and she said, "Yeah, that's it." I said, "That's a penis." Well, this woman was very, very upset because apparently the breeder told her it was a girl. I don't even know what to say after all that.
IT support, how can I help you? Yeah, I'm having trouble getting to my website. Okay, no problem. What's your domain name? I'll look it up. Sure, it's blah blah blah.com. Okay, it's resolving for me. I see your site with, the puppies on the top and the buttons to, sell the t-shirts. Is that your site? Yeah, that's it, but I can't find it on my new computer for some reason. Oh, okay, well, where are you going on your computer? Well, the computer's all black. I don't know why it's not coming up. And your computer's on? I mean, I hit the power button, but nothing's happening. Okay, are there any lights on the computer? No. Is it making a whirring noise, like is the fan going or anything? I don't hear anything. Have you plugged it into the wall? This computer didn't come with a wall.
I work at a vet clinic, and we had this client come in. Her father had recently passed away. He always took care of most of the stuff, the bills, stuff like that. She brought in a pretty sick cat and had a pretty high bill, and she wrote a check. Well, the check bounced, And I called her. I was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know your check balance. Like, we need to get some other form of payment. She was like, no, there's no way. I was like, yes, ma'am, it did. She was like, I have plenty left. I said, what do you mean you have plenty left? She said, I have plenty of checks left in my checkbook. So I had to explain to her that just because you have physical checks does not mean that you have money in the bank, and that just because you continue to write them doesn't mean that the money's just gonna appear until you run out of checks.
Hi, what can I get for you today? Hi, yes. What flavor is the cupcake? Vanilla with chocolate frosting. It's vanilla with chocolate frosting. Okay, yeah, but what's the flavor of the cupcake? Like the cupcake part, it's vanilla. I get that, but what's the flavor? Like what is the cupcake? What's the flavor of it? It's vanilla with chocolate frosting. Just vanilla with chocolate frosting, that's it? Yep. Oh, well then I don't want that one.
Excuse me, darling. Do you work here? Yes, ma'am, I do. What can I help you with? You're so cute. I was wondering, I love these little cups. I was just, if I hand you some money, do you mind if I take some home with me? So unfortunately, I don't have, I can't sell you our cups. We need them we're a restaurant, so we need our cups. Okay, but what if I just sneak you a little bit of cash? Just sneak you a little bit of cash. You can just turn a blind eye while I take these. I wish I could, but I would get fired for doing that, especially selling their stuff. I think there's like something in the rule books about selling the restaurant stuff, so I don't think I can do that. So sorry. Okay, you're being a little bit ridiculous here. It's just a cup, and it's just my job to not let you. I can't sell you our stuff. Basically, is what I'm.
Hi. So sorry, but paying your taxes does not make you the boss of teachers.
If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And subscribe. We publish new videos every day.